Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cozy Christmas Podcast. And today I wanted to hop on to YouTube and have a video episode to share some books I've been able to purchase recently and a couple of other visual Christmas items I wanted to share with you. Right now I'm on vacation and I've had a chance to get to a bunch of bookstores, found some time to fit a little bit of Christmas into my adventures. To see what other books I've been able to find while on vacation, you can go ahead and check out my other channel, The Bookshelf Odyssey. And I'll have a video up over there in a few days to kind of talk about some of the other books I've found. First of all, I want to talk about our book club. If you haven't signed up yet, the links will be in the show notes. But it's the Cozy Christmas Book Club. It runs just about year-round. And we read about one book every 2 months or so. And right now we are reading Rusty Murdered Gentleman by Vicki Delaney. Now, I have interviewed her a couple years ago now, I think it was, and it was a wonderful interview I had. And I came across this book at a library book sale, I think it was, and anyway, I really enjoyed it. And this is for August. This is our August read, and we will be reading about one chapter a day, and we just started on August 6th, so Monday of this week, or whenever it is this video gets out. And it's a cozy mystery. It's set in the fictional town of Rudolph, New York, which I wish was a real town because the whole town is dedicated to Christmas 24/7. And Mary Wilkinson owns Mrs. Claus's treasures. And the story begins, as many cozies do, set in the scene and everything, but then a dead body shows up. The mystery goes on from there. But it's a cozy mystery, a wonderful read, and I can't wait to get through this book with the book club. So go ahead and join us. We're on Facebook right now. That's where we kind of meet to chat about the book. We have read another cozy mystery to start the year off, and then we read The Man Who Invented Christmas, a nonfiction read. And so this is our third book for the year. And then we'll have one more that we'll read in October, and then we'll discuss in November in more detail. And then I have some other things planned for the book club coming in December. We won't have a book necessarily, but I've got one or two kind of fun things I want to have planned just to express my gratitude to you folks for joining us on the book club. If you are interested in reading some Christmas books throughout the year with us, go ahead and sign up on the Facebook page, which I'll link below, or you can send me an email to cozychristmaspodcast@gmail.com. I've been thinking about doing a video already, but I finally got the kick in the pants I needed to sit down and record because yesterday I was watching the Christmas Clatter live stream, another podcast hosted by Todd Killian, and he said on there, he was talking about collecting and some of the things that he wanted, and he shared with us an ornament or a Christmas item that he collected and that he really enjoyed. But he said, when you think about collecting, look for the stuff that you gravitate towards. And that can help, narrow it down. It can help give meaning to what you collect. And definitely for me, the things that mean a lot to me and that I gravitate toward is not just Charles Dickens, but the Victorian ideal of a Victorian Christmas. And I know a lot of that is probably added to and has a lot of nostalgia attached to it and may not be quite as accurate, but I love this idea of a more simple Christmas, a visually pleasing Christmas, one that is, cozy. And they used to, sit around the fireplace, that the hearth was the center of their home, and they would read stories at Christmas time. Often they'd be scary stories or ghost stories that they kind of, at some level, combined a little bit of Halloween with Christmas in that sense. But that's what I try to do on my podcast, and I just appreciated that reminder and that encouragement to keep doing what you gravitate towards. So one thing I wanted to show you that I own, and I would love to get more Lego sets or sets like that, is I've got the Christmas Carol Lego set, and I'm sorry, it's really kind of dusty. It's been on my bookshelf for the last year or two. I was able to pick this up after Christmas. It was on sale a couple years ago when it first came out, and it brings me joy. I know it's just a little thing, but every time I see it, I smile because you've got you've got Scrooge there. You can kind of see him in the background. You've got Tiny Tim. Let's get it in front of the camera. You've got Tiny Tim. You've got Bob Cratchit. You've got a nice little representation of their house. And it's all built on this book-looking foundation. And I just really like it. I think if there's any Lego set that has my name on it, it was that one. And I've noticed some other Christmas Lego sets popping up here and there that I kind of want to keep an eye on just to collect. Another thing I got this summer, just over Father's Day, and this is a little thing, but just this little statue of Santa Claus. I mean, it's nothing exciting, but my daughter Grace got it for me for Father's Day. She has a part-time job at a local antique store, and so she saved some of her money, went shopping for it, and found that and thought that would be something I like. And so I just, that has been sitting on my table next to where I read, and it's brought me some joy just seeing that and knowing that Grace put some thought into it. She kind of thought about what I liked, what I would be interested in. She saved her own money and did it all on her own without any kind of motivation or being forced to by mom. So that's really special. And I would love to hear if you have little trinkets like that mean a lot to you, that might not be worth a lot of money, but they have maybe some memory attached to it or some kind of a tradition around it. I would love to hear about that. So comment below and I might share that on an upcoming episode of the podcast. Well, here's a shameless plug. I've got my Cozy Christmas Podcast coffee mug. I need to get some updated versions for the new logo that we have and a couple other options. I hope to get that done this fall, if that's something you're interested in. The links are in the show notes. Sorry for the commercial, but that goes to the operating costs of our channel. All right, let's talk about books. Christmas books I've been able to pick up while on vacation. First of all, I found a really fantastic old copy of O. Henry's The 4 Million. Now, what's Christmassy about this? It contains the classic Christmas story, The Gift of the Magi. And I actually found almost the whole set, maybe the whole set. There's like 11 books of O. Henry short stories. I'm hoping to read those over the next few years and see if there's any more Christmas stories that might be in there that he wrote. But this one is one that I think is really special. And as you can tell, it's old. It's in great condition, which unfortunately means that it probably wasn't read very much. But the copyright on this is 1919. But then as you can tell, well, maybe it was read. I mean, it opens pretty easily, but as you can tell, this book is just in great shape for being over 100 years old. So, and I got this for just $1.50 at our library, at a library sale. So that was a great find. But I love the story of The Gift of the Magi. I believe I read it on an episode a few years ago now, or some episodes back. So you can find that on the podcast. Another book I was able to pick up is one called Christmas Poems, and it's a collection put together by Barnes & Noble. I have one from the Everyman's Pocket Library, but I did this a few years ago. I had a book of Christmas poems, and I read, I figured out how many was in the book and started reading that many. I can't remember, it was like 100 poems. And so I started reading one a day as a countdown to Christmas. That was a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to do it again this year with this book. Yeah, it looks like there's a little more than 100 poems in this one. So any day now, I should probably start reading this, and it'll be a really enjoyable way to count down Christmas. But you've got a lot of classic poems in here, some lyrics from Christmas carols, such as In the Bleak Midwinter, I saw, Deck the Halls. There's some other, non-Christmas lyrics, but it's just beautifully made book that I think will look really nice as we decorate for Christmas too. My wife likes to decorate with my books. So I always get a little worried But fortunately, she takes good care of them. So that's a book of Christmas poems I picked up, and that was just like a couple bucks. I was able to find it at. I actually found it when just recently I was visiting Todd from Christmas Clatter. We went to. We were at Cape Girardeau, and a store he recommended called Back Porch Antiques, and I found that book there. So that was a great find. Now let's get into the Dickens books I have. This is a great find. Again, at the library sale, $1.50 for a collection of Dickens's Christmas stories, as well as his reprinted pieces, as you can see on the title there. This book, I'm thinking the publication of it was early 1900. I think one of the books had an inscription in it of 1909. But you've got some beautiful, and I'm going to be careful because this book is really fragile, but some beautiful illustrations are in it and throughout it. Now this one is a lot more fragile to read. I'm not sure I'll be able to read it unless I'm very, very, very careful with it. But here you can see, the beginning of A Christmas Carol. You have you have that illustration, you have the opening pages. It's just fantastic. And I was able to find a set of 9 of these books in the series of all of Dickens's novels. There are 15, I think, in the series, it said, so I'm missing about 6 of them. That'll give me something to hunt down as I keep an eye out for more of Dickens's classic books. Wow, I found an old advertisement in the book. Somebody uses a bookmark. You can get Time Magazine for 20 weeks for only $2.97. I wonder if they'd still honor that price. Oh, bonus, you can get 25 weeks of Life magazine for only $2.95. So what a deal. Now I think that might run you one copy, if not more. Some of the stories in this book are A Christmas Carol, The Chimes, The Cricket on the Hearth, The Battle of Life, and The Haunted Man. Those are his Christmas novellas he wrote. Then there's some short stories listed, and some of this might be from not his Christmas stories, but his reprinted pieces. And actually, some of them I haven't read yet. But you've got some other of his Christmas stories in here, like A Christmas Tree. Dr. Marigold is another great short story. If you haven't read that one, I recommend that. I think it was published at Christmas time, if I remember right, but not necessarily Christmas related. Okay, so that was a great find at the library. Again, $1.50 for that, and I get to support my local library, so that's awesome. And then yesterday I was at a bookstore in Omaha, and one I love to go to. It's an old used bookstore. It has wonderful stacks and stacks of books you could get lost in for hours. But I found a version of the Christmas Carol I've been looking for a long time, and I never just bought it outright because sometimes I can be a bit of a cheapskate like Scrooge. But it's the illustrated edition of A Christmas Carol, and it's illustrated by P.J. Lynch. Now his illustrations are absolutely gorgeous, and I don't know if I will maybe just post some pictures here or try to show it to you, but I mean, look at that front page. That's beautiful, just gorgeous. I would love that to be a print, just to have a poster size print of that picture. There's Scrooge, some Scrooge and Marley. You get some illustrations throughout that are just breathtakingly beautiful. And this is going to be the copy I'm going to read from this year. And if I get a chance to see Gerald Dickens perform A Christmas Carol again, this is the one I'm going to have him sign this year. I've been really looking for it. It's in great shape. Doesn't have the dust jacket on it though, but that's okay. It still looks quite beautiful without it. And then another book I picked up from the Back Porch Antique Store is a children's illustrated edition of A Christmas Carol. There we have that. And it's illustrated by Christian Birmingham. As you can see here, also just beautifully illustrated. The copyright is 2000. So I just took a quick look comparison to the original text, and about the only difference is that this is an edited version. So I'm going to read through and see at some point and just see how it does as far as summarizing the story. And this would be a good book then to read for, a young reader, for somebody who wants to be introduced to the classic, maybe somebody who doesn't read well, and they get a chance to have a shorter version. Because even in a novella, sometimes Dickens can get a little wordy, but I think every single word is just brilliantly written in this book. You might have guessed this is my favorite book of all time. So that is an illustrated Christmas Carol, illustrated by Christian Birmingham. What a beautiful find that was. All right. Those are my Christmas books I was able to get while on vacation, and a couple of other little Christmas items I've picked up this summer and spring. I think that'll be it for today. So stay tuned, because I will have another podcast episode coming out here within the next week or so. I've got some stories I'm planning to read, and down the road I hope to have some guests back on to talk about Christmas and the stories that make that holiday so very special to all of us. And so until next time, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. Have a very Merry Christmas.